Welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Heather explores how natural healing can support your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. She guides you on how to harness your inner power to overcome challenges, improve overall health, and strengthen your connection to your true self. Through grounding techniques, holistic remedies, and the transformative practice of energy balance, Heather offers practical insights to help you create harmony in mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome the host of Radiant Spirits Rising, Heather Lena.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. I am so happy to be back with you guys. My apologies for having to do a rerun last week. I was not feeling good at all. Couldn't hardly talk, and I thought, I'm not going to let them hear me trying to struggle on this very important topic that we are going to be discussing today. So 2 weeks ago on April 15th, we began our discussion about unlearning fear, and we got about a quarter of the way through that material before the podcast ended. So we are going to start with our intention, and then I'm going to give a brief synopsis of what we talked about. Excuse me, my throat's still a little scratchy, so please bear with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about a synopsis of what I talked about 2 weeks ago, and then I'm going to get into the next portion of this, which is healing beyond fear and actually involving crystals, angel numbers, and conscious living. So as normal, we're going to go ahead and set our intentions for this podcast. So I'm going to have everybody close their eyes, including myself. And we are going to picture our heart space taking deep breaths in and out. So take some deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Deep breaths in and out. Allowing ourselves to relax. Lighting up that heart space. And we're going to download ourselves with the knowledge, feeling, and knowing of what it's like to be confident in releasing our fears. Knowing what it's like to release our fears, letting them go, and being confident in ourselves without fear being the basis of everything that we do in our lives. And the feeling, knowledge, and knowing of what it's like to live our lives without fear, without manipulation. And then once you have accepted that download, go ahead and move that energy into your heart chakra, sending it up and down through the 7 chakras. Still taking those deep breaths in and out as needed. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, fear, what a huge thing, right? We started talking about it 2 weeks ago, and it's still something that as I look and watch social media, listen to things, fear is such a huge aspect in everything that comes around in our lives. But what happens when we're in fear? It literally causes our body to be in a constant fight or flight mode. Now, let me say for the record, I'm hearing, you know what, call in at 1-866-451-1451 or send me a comment. Tell me about your fears. What are you fearful of? And then really think about what is the root belief of what that fear is. So for me, my root fear of snakes was fear of hell and death. So is there a root belief that could be causing you to have that fear? So I'd love to hear it. Call me and talk to me, or you know what? Send me a comment and let's talk about it. All right. So we talked last time about fear-based programming. we talked about nudging, and we talked about manipulation. And so I'm going to go over a little bit of what we talked about. So nudging is usually seen and defined as a gentle persuasion, but really, what I observe and what I witness is many times nudging is not gentle. Nudging's not gentle at all. It is a literal push to manipulate you into a belief system or doing something out of fear, out of being different, out of not being like everybody else. All right. Supposedly, nudges encourage people to make a healthier choice without forcing them, which, if it was only used for that, that'd be great, but it's not. Nudging actually isn't used for that. It is normally used to bully and manipulate people. And I watch this daily. Literally, I look at Facebook, I look at social media, and I see all of this manipulation and all of these fear-based things that are put out that create fear in people. And not too long ago, I had sent my healer a screenshot of something and told her that I believe the basis of what they were saying was correct. And she tells me, she's like, yeah, but that is still a fear and manipulation tactic, the way they are saying it. So you have to be wary of that. And as I thought about that, I thought, she's right. Because my first thought was, oh, that's kind of, oh, yeah. And then after she said that, I went back and re-looked at it. And you know what? She was right. Okay. It was a fear-based post. So what is it that you're reading? What is it that you're seeing that is causing you fear-based? Okay. I define nudging as manipulation especially when fear and control are involved. And I then talked about the movie The Push that is on Netflix. So did you guys go watch it? If you haven't gone and watched it, you know what? Go into Netflix and watch this movie, The Push. All right. This movie is a prime example of how nudging can manipulate people into thinking and doing things that they don't need to do. And I'm telling you guys, go watch it and really look at it through a lens of being open to receiving the messages that are being sent through that. Okay. In this movie, they are able to convince people to go past their own morals and murder somebody or think they're murdering somebody when there was no reason for them to have to do that at all. I was just astounded. And so every time I look at things like this, I base it off of this movie. And what are they doing? What am I seeing? What are they doing? Is this falling into that push? Yes, it is falling into that push. So fear-based programming, which is what that push actually is. Things like, if I fail, I'll be judged, is a program that causes us to be fearful and try to be perfect. It's not safe to be seen. Money is evil. You want to know if you're having manifestation issues? The first thing we need to work on is money is evil. Or I must suffer to grow. These are all fear-based programs that we have had shoved down our throats over the years that create blocks for us that don't allow us to have the best life or to do the things that we want to do. They are planted in family dynamics, religious dogma, education systems, media for fear-mongering, and social expectations. So think about it for a minute. What kind of beliefs do you guys have, or have you been told or raised with, that are causing you to have fear-based programming? Okay. So remember, the mind is programmable. It repeats what it hears and what it sees, but we have the power to rewrite the code. So then we talked about disconnecting from fear-based media. And I talked about how I don't watch the news. I don't watch it. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to talk radio. There are a few podcasts that I will listen to, but if I start feeling a lot of programming coming out of those, I turn them off. Okay. News, social media, and entertainment fuel fear because it grabs your attention and can cause you anxiety, right? Because you're getting that programming. So ultimately, what you're watching is sending programming into you. And that programming can go in and work on your DNA and change your DNA. So last week when I was sick, we replayed the DNA podcast where I talked about how your body is a computer and how it can absorb the different things. And if you haven't watched that, go back and watch that as well and look at how fear can actually go into your DNA and change it. Trauma can go into your DNA and change it. And then it is uploaded into your soul, like, because your soul is the cloud. So all of this fear and trauma is uploaded into your soul, and then it carries forward into this life, into other lives. So, you know what? We've got to get rid of this fear-based programming. We've got to get rid of it. So, steps to disengage from detox social media and media in general, I said, take a 7 to 14 day break from toxic news and feeds. Curate your feed. Follow accounts that inspire healing, not fear. And honestly, there's been several that I had been following that I have turned off because they're the way the people, the blah, blah, blah. Try that again. The way the people are posting things is starting to create programming and fear, and I don't want to listen to that. So I just delete them off my feed, or I quit following them, or whatever I need to do in order to make myself much more calm and much more less programmed and much less fearful. Okay. Don't watch drama-filled reality TV. Okay, these reality TV shows, they aren't good for you, right? Because even though they are reality TV, they are still done in a way to create fear and programming. Doom scrolling and sensational headlines, stay away from those, okay? If there's something that's really being talked about, go to a site that you trust to get the basics of the information, but you don't need to necessarily scroll everything and follow it. And guys, let me tell you, I did that in 2020 and it was not working for me, at all. So I had to disconnect from all of it and then go back and relook at it from a different perspective. So how do we release fear from our body? Fear isn't just in your mind, it's stored in your nervous system. So we talked about this. Many of us live stuck in fight or flight or fawn without even realizing it because of all the fear that we get shoved at us. We are just constantly in fight or flight. So we can use Reiki to do it. You can use breath work to do it. You can do sound healing to do it. You can do somatic release. So somatic release would be like shaking, right? Shaking your body. Shake it out. What is that song? Shake It Out? Is that Taylor Swift song? Not that I really like Taylor Swift, but there you go. EFT tapping would be tapping on different areas and allowing your body to release all of that. Okay. Breath work, breathing, 7, 4, 7, 8 breathings, kind of like we do at the beginning of this one, where we start with the deep breathing in and the deep breathing out. And just sit there for a few minutes and do some deep breathing. And as you're breathing out, releasing all of that fear and tension that is going into what you're doing, right? So let's release it all. All right. So when we come back, we're going to start on the second programming. No, we're going to start on our next section about talking about releasing the programming of fear. So we'll see you in a minute.
Mike Zoric, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorick, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorick has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. This week we are continuing our discussion about fear, unlearning fear and healing beyond fear. So, how do you reprogram your mind? So we talked a little bit about reprogramming your body a minute ago. So how do we rewrite fear beliefs in our mind? Because really, anytime we have a fear, where does it really start? Probably in our mind, right? So something in our mind clicks that makes the body like become nervous, have anxiety, feel like it can't do it. But ultimately, it's our mind that actually is telling us we can or cannot do it. So fear is a trickster. It sneaks in our thoughts designed as logic, protection, or reality. So anytime you are feeling fear, you need to stop and first think about, is this logical? Is my fear logical? Is my fear of snakes logical? Probably not, right? Because I've not ever really handled snakes. I've not ever really, been bit by a snake. So do I have a logical fear of snakes? No. Okay. Now, is my fear a protection mechanism? So in this particular case, if the belief system that I had was that fear, my apologies, I'm still like trying to get over this cold. If my fear of snakes is all about protection, which it was about my safety and dying, okay, then that's where we start the root belief, which is, what is the root belief system that is causing me to have this fear of snakes, that I need to be protected from them? So that's where I began, because mine wasn't logical. Mine was about protection. Because when I looked at, was my fear realistic? I don't run into snakes that often. So it's not like in the Indiana Jones movie when he falls into a thing of snakes and it gets a fear of snake. Yeah, that's reality, right? For him, that would have been a reality of not liking snakes, because he fell into a bin of a whole bunch of them. But in my case, it wasn't reality. It was all about trying to protect myself. So, and ultimately, when I looked at it, the root system of that was fear of dying. So when you're looking at your fears, when one pops up, you really need to stop and you really need to journal it. And you need to be like, okay, what is this fear? Where is it coming from? Why do I have it? Is it logical? Is this a logical fear? And if it is a logical fear, why is it logical? What makes it logical? If it's a protection fear, why do I need that protection fear? Why do I need it? And if it's a reality-based one, then, what is it that you need to release in order to be able to look at that through a different lens of reality? Knowing that if you lived it, okay, and we release it, so you no longer are required to, because right now what you're doing is you're hanging on to it, and you are saying to yourself, I have to hang on to this fear so it doesn't happen to me again. Instead, what we do is we go in and I say to you, let's move that from a reality that you live with every day to a memory, so that you're not living with it every day and you don't require yourself to do it every day. And then you can pull it if you need to remind yourself why or what happened, but you don't have to live in that same reality every day. So if your fear is a reality-based fear, then come book your appointment with me. Let's get that from reality-based to memory-based. Let's change that whole coding system in you and your body so that you're not reliving and rehashing that same fear every single day. All right. So that is actually one way that you can reprogram, is just book your appointment with me. Come see me. Some of the things that may come up or people tell you that aren't as obvious would be, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? They'll think I'm crazy. Now that's a good one, right? We went to the Women's Expo this weekend and I spoke to several people and told, and the root of that conversation was, you're not crazy. You have these abilities and things are happening to you that we can work on, but you're not crazy. But what is the fear about feeling like you're crazy? That you're going to be ostracized, that people are going to manipulate you, that you are no longer worthy. All of this stuff has got to be released. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of steps that you can do to help release the programming in your mind. So the first one is being aware. Start by catching the fearful thought in the act. Name it out loud and say, oh, that's fear speaking. Okay. So if you say to yourself, say like you have a fear of heights, we're just going to use that. And you are driving down the road and you look down and you're like, oh my God, I could just fall to my death. The first thing you want to do is realize that that is a fear that is coming out. So you need to address that and call that out. That is a fear that I just had. Then you're going to say, clear, cancel, delete that. Because anytime you think something like that, you've got 7 seconds to clear it out of the universe before it gets documented and can become reality. So anytime you say something that you shouldn't be saying, something negative, think something, a fear, you're going to want to say, nope, that's a fear, clear, cancel, delete that, and send it away. Okay? Because what you're doing is you are literally teaching yourself to not bite into that fear. What you are teaching yourself to do is release that fear. So clear, cancel, delete that. Clear, cancel, delete that. Okay. But start with the awareness. That is a fear. Clear, cancel, delete that. And then start looking at, where did you get this fear? How did this come? So if it keeps popping up and you have to keep clearing it, obviously you're needing some work to have that done. So where did it come from? Think about it. Journal it. Talk about, where are you getting this fear? Did it come from your parents? Did it come from your friends? Did it come from being bullied at school? Was it, a trauma that happened? Was it a teacher? Who started you on this path with this fearful belief? But you have to own the fact that it is a fear and not your high truth. So how many of these things that you're fearful of, you may or may not even be fearful of, but it's somebody else's fear that you have taken on. So if it's not your truth and it's not your fear, then again, you need to release that. We need to get rid of that. We need to download you with what it's like to live your life without taking on everybody else's fears, which is kind of what we did today a little bit, actually. Okay. Then you're going to want to rewrite it. So instead of making it as a negative, make it as a positive instead. So even driving down the cliff, right? It's like, what would be a positive that you could create out of that? I get to my journey safely. So I'm clear canceling, delete the thought of falling off the cliff, and I am downloading the knowledge that I am making this trip safely. And actually, it should be, I have made this trip safely, because you always want it to be as if it has already happened, so that the universe realizes that you want it. All right. So you can also journal your fears. So what fears were modeled to you growing up? How do you avoid self-sabotage or because of fear? So how many times do you not do something because you're fearful, or you're not good enough, or you've been told it won't work? What would you dare do if you believed you could not fail? So if you believed you had no failure, what would your life look like? What could you do? So let me give you an example. So an old belief would be, it's not safe to speak my truth. Clear, cancel, delete that. The new belief would be, my voice is sacred, my truth is healing. When I speak from the heart, I free myself and inspire others. See the difference? So instead of saying, I could wreck my car and die on this trip, clear, cancel, delete that, you would say, I have arrived safely at my destination and I am grateful for that. Because it's all in the words that we use. Okay. So a couple of mantras. I am safe. I am grounded. I trust my path. Fear may visit, but does not live here. That's a really good one. Fear may visit, but it does not live here. My inner world is rooted in truth and love. I really like the fear may visit, but it does not live here. Do not let fear take residence in your head with rent free. Just don't do it. All right. So let's talk about some crystal allies for fear release, because we've been kind of combining in these podcasts since I talked about them, angel numbers and crystals. So some crystals that would help with stable healing frequencies, right? One would be black tourmaline, so psychic armor. It shields you from energetic overwhelm, and you can use during cord cutting meditations or when feeling energetically drained. Guys, this black tourmaline is a great energy protector. It is one of the ones that I wear daily. I wear a black tourmaline every day. Smoky quartz, a grounding transformer. So it transmutes fear into courage and calm. Use, hold it during moments of anxiety. Imagine fear draining into the earth. Lepidolite, natural nervous system soother. Lepidolite's a really pretty crystal too. It contains lithium, promotes deep emotional ease. And you can keep it by your heart or pillow during stressful times. Amethyst, spiritual alchemist. Amethyst is a great crystal, everybody. It elevates fear into wisdom and insight. You place over your third eye when meditating or seeking clarity. Selenite. I love selenite. Guys, I just got a bunch of selenite spheres in stock that I'm getting ready to mark. And these would be ones that you can hold in your hand and just rub. They're small enough that they could be palms. And this would be a great way to release fear. Okay, because this is one of the crystals I'm talking about. So if you're interested in one, you know what? Send me a message. We'll get you one, because they would be amazing to just hold and rub. All right, when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about releasing our fears. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories studies that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we are talking about fear and releasing our fear-based belief systems. So prior to the break, I was discussing selenite, and it talks about being a celestial cleaner, and it recommends using a selenite wand around your body after releasing heavy emotions, but it can be done other ways as well. So you can hold a piece, you can have a piece in your house. This lamp over here, the one behind me, that is a selenite lamp, not the purple one, but the other one. And I have them throughout my house, guys, and they are amazing. I do have some available for sale along with those spheres. I recommend everybody have selenite in their house. So go get some from me, because remember, when you buy it from me, I set it for your energy and your intention so it works for you in the best way possible. All right, so let's talk about angel numbers. So angel numbers can give you messages as you're going through the fear process and help you releasing the fear-based programming. As you're shifting old fear patterns, the universe sends reassurance in subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways. And so if you're seeing these numbers and you're going in and you're researching spiritually what these numbers mean, then maybe you need to go back and start being more specific if you're not getting the right message. So if you are struggling with fear-based programming and you're seeing these numbers, then this would be the message as to what you need. So 111 or 4 ones, 1111 would be new beginnings require courage. So if you're feeling like you have these fear, but you're wanting to start over and you're seeing 111, new beginnings require courage. Your soul is craving a reset. Spirit is saying, take that leap. Take the leap from the lion's head, guys. So if you've seen the Indiana Jones movies, the third one where he's in the process of trying to save his father and he runs out and he's standing on a ledge by a lion's head and he's supposed to take the leap of faith, this is what I am referring to. Take the leap from the lion's head. Take that leap, okay? 222 and 2222. You are supported, so trust. Okay? Fear surfaces when you can't see the outcome. 2222 reminds you, you don't have to. Okay? So, you are supported. Be trusting. Take that leap. All right? So, let me go back. So I missed the journal prompt. So if you're seeing 111, one thing you could do is do a journal about what is a new beginning that you are resisting because of fear. All right. So 222, healing, place rose quartz over your heart. Whisper, I trust the unfolding of my life. Can you guys hear my cat? He wants in. I've been gone for 4 days. He's not happy. All right, 333 or 3333. You are divinely guided. So it's time to let your gifts shine. Release your fears because fear dims your light. The spirit wants you to ignite it. So an affirmation could be, I release fear of being seen. I am safe to shine. I really like that one. All right, 444 and 4444. You are deeply protected. When fear feels suffocating, 444 is your energetic shield. So, you know what, guys? A lot of times fear causes anxiety, right? So, anxiety is the physical aspect of what fear does to you. Okay? And as I'm working with people lately, I've had several clients where as I've started working with them, they have felt like they were being choked or suffocated because there was something there, okay? And they were seeing 444. Like it was their code that like they were suffocating. And you can feel like you're suffocating in several different ways. So one way would be that you have an entity or something, a curse or something on you that's causing it, or your fear is strangling you. I literally just heard that. So we're going to say that. So is your fear strangling you? Is your fear so severe that it just strangles you? If so, you need to come see me. Let's work on that. Let's get that cleared. Okay. So you can, as part of this, as a ritual, would be light a white candle and visualize a cocoon of divine light around you. Okay. But I'm telling you, if you are being suffocated by fear, then you need to come see me. Come see me. Let's work on that. Let's clear that. Okay. 555 and 5555. Change is divine. Trust the shift. So transformation can feel like chaos. 555 whispers, you're not lost. You're being rerouted. So think about that. You're not lost. You're being rerouted. So you're taking a different route. Don't let fear stop you from taking that different route. So one thing you can do is practice ground with breath work. Ask, what fear am I ready to let go of today? Visualize it, picture it, and then release it, let it go. 666. Now, we talked about 666 in my podcast about numbers and the stigma that is connected around the number 666. But in actuality, 666 can actually be an angel number, and it actually has a really good message to it. So realign your mind that 666 isn't evil. It is a powerful call to stop looping in scarcity or guilt. It actually is one of the more powerful numbers that we get. But it's been given that stigma to try to stop us from getting those messages. So reframe. I am enough. I am supported. I am anchored in love. So that's a rewire. When you see 666, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's not an evil number. Okay. 0000000. Source is here. Begin anew. A complete energetic reset. Visualize, imagine yourself bathed in glowing sphere of pure light, wiping fear clean from your field. So as if light was coming down from the skies, just drenching you in the light. Okay. I'm actually getting a visual here, so I'm like, okay. I see a visual of somebody who needs to sit down and just allow that light to come through you. So that's the message for you. If that message resonates with you, then go ahead and do that. So how do you work with the angel numbers? Pause when you notice them. Okay. And then notice how frequently you are seeing them. Breathe deep and tune into your thoughts. So take a minute. Log what you were doing at the time or what you were thinking about at the time you saw them. And then ask, what is the message that you are being sent? What is that message? What are they trying to tell you? Keep a divine numbers journal to document patterns, breakthroughs, and divine nudges. Now, I will say a divine nudge is different than the nudges that we are normally talking about here in this existence, right? So a divine nudge actually does have your best interest at heart and does gently work to guide you. But even the universe, if you're not listening, the nudges will increase in intensity until you actually listen. And it may feel as if the universe is working against you when it's trying to nudge you, but it's actually not working against you. So somebody needed to hear that message today. So if you are being nudged by the universe for something and you keep telling them no, they are going to continue to nudge you until you do it. But the nudges will become more and more, I'm going to use the word, pushy. Okay? So, and that is because the universe is trying to get you to do what it is you're supposed to be doing. And it's not going to stop pushing you that direction. It's just going to become more significant as it goes on. So you may start by getting messages. That's great. And then if you ignore them, you're going to start receiving messages a different way. So you may have someone come to you and say something about what it is you're supposed to be doing. And if you still ignore it, then the universe is going to cause you to do something else, right? So in my case, I am working on a building right now. I was told it needed to be done last May. I did not do it. And so I was being pushed to do it. I was being pushed to do it. I was being pushed to do it. And I just kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope, I'm not doing it. So then I had something else happen. And I was like, okay. So I went and tried to fix it the best I could without doing what I was being told to do, which was to fix up the building. And it didn't work, and it didn't work, and it didn't work, and it didn't work. And I keep being told, once you get this done, you'll get what you need. But you have to get this done. So that's how they work, and that's how the universe pushes, okay? So some daily rituals you can do to release fear would be morning grounding rituals. You can take deep breaths. You can stretch and shake. You can speak affirmations. You can sip grounding tea. You can step outside, let your bare feet touch the earth. Some herbal allies for grounding would be ashwagandha. I think I'm saying that right. It strengthens resilience. Lemon balm calms anxiety. Passion flower quiets the racing mind. Okay. So some lifestyle shifts that you could do to help you live a fear-free life. Surround yourself with people that have the same vibration as you. People who elevate you, who don't diminish you, and don't diminish your spirit. Create a yes list of actions that light you up. Take aligned risks often. Start the blog. Take the trip. Share your story. Okay? Trust that whatever you need for that will come to you if you are open to it. And I am struggling with that right now. I will be honest. The take aligned risks and trusting that the money is coming, I am struggling with that because I struggle with manifestation sometimes. When I'm open, I really work it well. But when I let fear start getting involved, then I don't. Okay. Cultivate stillness. Fear shouts, truth whispers. Slow down and hear it. And then some resources. Talk about a book that's great. It's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I fully recommend everybody reading this book and following it, right? It talks about rewriting limiting agreements or belief systems. Listen to podcasts, books, and spaces that nourish your experience, and guided meditations. Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish up the podcast for the day. I'll see you in a minute.
Mike Zoric, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorick, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorick has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. So as we finalize the podcast for today, we're going to start with our affirmation of the week. And that is, today I choose to accept there is no such thing as perfect. So perfection causes fear, everybody. Okay. When we are fearful that we are not perfect, that we don't do things right, it stops us in our tracks. It doesn't allow us to complete things that we need to do. There is no such thing as perfect. Perfect is a farce. So remember that, okay? So if you start having fear about being perfect, you need to release that fear and let's come work. You know what? Work with me on it. It's all good. All right. So our service spotlight of the week. Next slide is the soul integration session, the trauma healing session. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. They are 30-minute and 1-hour sessions available. They focus on trauma. They focus on releasing and providing comfort. They work on fear, anxiety, stress, grief, regret, and resentment, rejections, anger, and blocks that occur when someone has suffered a traumatic event. And many times fear is caused by trauma. It's one of the things that causes fear. So book your appointment, guys. If you book an appointment before April 30th, your rate will stay the same through December 31st. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Next slide. Have you gotten my free ebook yet? I have a lot of people that have. Go to that QR code that's on the screen or heatherlena.com/ebook to get your free copy of the Awaken Your Light Holistic Guide now. It is a great book. It has great information. And guys, you won't regret this. It is a $25 value that you're getting for free just for subscribing to my webpage. Next slide. All right. So my transformational community, come May, we're making changes. Are you signed up for it yet? If not, you are missing out. So text transformation to 928-289-5868 to receive updates and be the first to join the new community. It's going to be an awesome place. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're there. Next slide. Locking in your personal investment. Come May, the pricing structure for me is going to be going up. If you book an appointment before tomorrow, April 30th, I've been talking about this for a while, so why haven't you booked your appointment yet? You will hold the current pricing of $125 per hour if you book an appointment before April 30th. When you book in May, the pricing is going to go up. But guys, let me tell you what you get with that personal investment. So anytime you book an appointment with me, you get a minimum of 48-hour after the appointment follow-up. So if you have any kind of issues that you're having with what we did, you can contact me and I will go in and work on it. Does not cost you anything extra to do that. And that is a great value in itself. But remember, you're making this personal investment for you to last you a lifetime. So while you may be spending $150 on coffee a month, that coffee only lasts you for maybe an hour or two. Whereas this personal healing that you're doing is going to last you a lifetime. It is going to help you throughout the rest of your life. And there is no greater value than to work on yourself and put that investment into helping yourself through the rest of your life. So don't wait. Go to heatherlena.com to book your appointments now. Next slide. Are you watching me on my YouTube channel? If not, you should be. So go to youtube.com @healingwithheatherlena /streams, or click the QR code on the screen to sign up and get notified when I am going live. Once a week, maybe even more. So don't miss out. Go to my healing channel now. My cat's still out there crying. Next slide. All right. Got a question, comment? Send your questions or comments for the podcast to healingwithheatherlena@gmail.com. If you want to purchase merchandise or if you want to book a service, you can go to heatherlena.com or contact@heatherlena.com to contact me. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Healing with Heather Lena. Next slide. Our last thought of the day is, when we release fear and align with truth, we don't just change our lives, we awaken the limitless light that was within us all along. So let me say that again. When we release fear and align with truth, we don't just change our lives, we awaken the limitless light that was within us all along. All right, that ends our conversation about fear. Let me know. Send me a message. Let me know what you thought, what your questions were, what your fear bases are. And I will see you guys next week on Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
This has been Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Tune in each week as we step into the world of natural healing and discover the radiant spirit within you. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios. Start your journey toward balance and renewal.